I think you can't really analyse what's happened to their deficit without thinking about what's happened to their economy. And fundamentally, the Italian economy, like some other economies in Europe that are more exposed to the global business cycle, have just come out weaker. That's why the overall forecast has been marked down. And as a result of that, the Italian deficit is now just going to look worse than it previously was. That's not because there's sort of blatant overspending, it's just because of the automatic stabilizers working against them.
And what's interesting about Italy is, of course, the big downgrade to growth happened back in February. So in autumn, they had forecasted growth of 1.2% for this year. In February, they cut it to 0.2%. And obviously today, they're cutting it to 0.1%. So the growth impact has already been somewhat priced into the market. But as to Willem's point, that 2.5% deficit is going to raise a few alarm bells. But there's also another country whose deficit has crept up a lot today, and that is France. They have the France deficit numbers at 3.1% for 2019. A lot of that is in response to the measures obviously enacted by President Macron in response to the Yellow Vest demonstrations. New ones were announced in the last couple of weeks, and not because of a growth downgrade here. It's purely because of spending. How do you see this panning out? And you're expecting there to be some form of a confrontation with the European Commission, given we're clearly breaching 3% here?
Yeah, I think you're quite right. It's a very different kettle of fish what's happening here with France. They've for political reasons, have deliberately pushed the boat out further with spending, and this is going to lead to some sort of conflict with the Commission. France are probably more able to get away with it because they're the second largest economy in the EU. Whether Italy would be able to do that is a different question. So I think we'll end up seeing a slight cutting back on some of those spending plans in France. But looking at euro area as a whole, the reality is there's a little bit of a fiscal impetus being given to the euro area economy. Part of the reason why we're going to get a bit of a recovery in growth from here is precisely because of a stimulus from France, a little bit from Germany as well, which is useful.
And actually there are some numbers to that effect, just scrolling through them now. They have forecasted the aggregate government deficit of the Eurozone to rise from 0.5% GDP last year, which is really marginal. I mean, that's nothing, 0.5%, to 0.9% in 2019 and 2020 as well. So yes, there is a little bit of fiscal expansion, but put it in the context of the US, that's really not that much.
Of course not, no. I mean, I think the way we would look at it is the net fiscal impetus is somewhere just below 0.5% of GDP. That's the kind of numbers that people are bandying about, which, yeah, it helps, especially at a time where there's this headwind from the global economy, but it's better than nothing. And, you know, think about the years of a fiscal drag that's been going on in Europe. This is unusual.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.